Hi, I'm Yasia. Thank you for joining me on your mat today. Today, our practice is going to be focused around the heart chakra. We're going to focus on not only opening the chest, but we're also going to focus on trying to give ourselves the gift of self-compassion and self-love. What that means is if you're doing any type of movement and it feels like it's too much or you feel tired, give yourself a rest, show yourself compassion in your practice so that we may take that off the mat and show ourselves compassion in everyday life. So the heart chakra symbolizes compassion, empathy, forgiveness, unconditional love. So if there's any of those words that are really speaking to you today, I encourage you to use that as your intention. If nothing is kind of jumping off the page for you, I would encourage you to think about practicing compassion and self-love as your intention during this practice. The other thing that I find really special about the heart chakra is that it unifies the three upper chakras of the mind with the three lower chakras that are of the body. And so in yoga, we're trying to find unity, and through our practice, we're trying to unify our breath and our thoughts and our body in one. And so I think thinking of the heart chakra in that way as this unifier is really a beautiful thing. So take a moment, get in a nice, comfortable seat. You may use a block, a bolster, whatever feels good to you. And we're just going to start by taking 3 unifying breaths to bring us all together. So eyes closed. We'll breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Good. Keeping your eyes closed, we're actually going to move into a short meditation to help you visualize and solidify your intention. So just start to follow the breath in its natural rhythm. Let the cares of the day fall away. You are here now on this mat, and all you need to do is be on this mat and follow the instructions of my voice, and that's all that's expected of you right now. Continue to follow your breath's natural rhythm. Now we're going to bring attention to the heart space. If it helps you to do so, you may take your palm and place it over your heart. Really breathe into that space. And without judgment, just feel into that space and see if anything is coming up for you. Give it a few breaths. It may be absolutely nothing. You could feel blocked, like that area is not accessible. You could feel pain. You could even feel tightness. Whatever you feel, whether it be nothing or extremely intense, is okay. Just try to stay with whatever it is. Knowing that whatever sensation you're feeling, you got this, you can handle it. And just stay there. Good. Next, I want you to envision a bright orb of light. And that orb is right over your chest. And it's going to meld with your heart and light up your heart space. It is illuminating everything in your heart space. All of the dark spots are now illuminated. Just feel that. Good. Feel the lights warming your heart, healing you, healing your heart chakra, healing that space. Stay with that. Have a couple more breaths. Good. In the next couple of breaths, we're going to come back into the room. Before you leave your heart space, thank your heart chakra in that space for being there and having this connection with you. Good. Flutter the eyelids open. We're back in the room. Good. Let's take a couple of shoulder rolls back. Good. And the other way. Shoulder rolls forward. Good. Let's start with a spinal twist. So the left leg will come over the right. We will reach our right arm up and we will twist. Just take a couple breaths here. Good. Unwind. We'll take the other side. Reach the left arm up and twist. We grow up through the top of the head on the inhale and twist further on the exhale. And come back. Come back to a seated pose, and we're just going to do a few seated cat-cows to warm up the spine. Big breath in. Big breath out. Breath in. Breath out. And again. And breath out. Good. Extend the legs in front of you. Pull the flesh away if needed to really ground the sit bones into the floor. And we're going to do a forward fold. So starting with reaching the arms up, you're going to reach forward with a flat back. And so if this is as far as you go right here and you can only reach your knees, That's totally fine. What we don't want is we don't want you to curl over at the expense of the spine, because that's not going to give you an optimal hamstring stretch. And so as far as you can go with keeping kind of that flat back is exactly where you want to be. So let's just take a couple breaths here. And if you can, think about on your exhales, delivering more oxygen, more space to where it feels tight, which I'm guessing should be your hamstrings. It's where you should be feeling that. So on your exhales, you're delivering these nice breaths to open the hamstrings. Good, and come back up. We're going to move into Janusarasana. So take your right leg, draw it into your inner thigh like so. Same basic concept, just a little bit different. We're going to reach arms up to the sky and come over, keeping the spine flat and open, not doing this. If you are doing that to get your forehead closer to your knee, you're really not getting the full benefit of the pose. You can also take a strap here. It's a really good prop to use in this pose. So using the same technique that we used before, bringing more oxygen and openness to the hamstring and wherever is tight on your exhales. Good. And come up. Same thing on the other side. Come forward. I know you must be thinking, I thought this was a heart opener class. I do want to just get our hamstrings a little bit warm and stretched out before we move into some of our flows. I find that if there's not proper, that the hamstrings are most likely to get tweaked, overstretched, pulled when we're doing our downward dogs and do our planks. So I always like to make sure the hamstrings are nice and warm before we start moving. Good. All right, we're going to stand up. So coming to the middle of your mat, we're just going to start to get the body warm. So we're going to do head rolls to the right. Good. Do 5. And then the other direction. Keeping in mind our intention. And typically, these types of movements aren't utilized in most yoga classes. We're going to now do reach ups. So it's going to look like this. You're going to bring your feet just a little over hips width distance apart, and you're going to reach up and stretch. Good. And then the other side. Do not let this totally collapse. You don't want to collapse this way. You want to have integrity and strength and feel your fingertips opposing each other. Good. Other side. So what I was saying is that typically in a yoga class, we don't do these types of standing movements. I find that getting the entire body moving and involved in the process just feels really good. And also for me, if I'm focusing on my heart chakra and trying to be open, movement of my entire body really helps me access that. I think a lot of times we have certain emotions that are stored throughout the body, and getting the whole body involved in the movement can help us access things that may feel stuck. Good. Okay, so bringing the feet a little further apart, and you're just a little bit turned out, you're going to kind of drip down, I like to say. So watch me once. You're going to kind of like you're coming into a goddess pose here, but instead keep your hands on your knees and you're going to come forward. Good. And then you're going to roll up through the spine and open the shoulders and the chest, tiny back bend, and come to neutral. And again, so we are melting down and dripping up. Good. And again, melting down and dripping up. Good. And one more time, melting down, dripping up. It's good for your balance too as you move your focus. Keeping your legs where they are. Reach your arms out to the side. Give yourself a big hug. And I want you to stay here for a second and just think about sending yourself compassion, sending yourself love, giving yourself what you need in this moment. From here, we're going to take a little mini back bend. So make sure you're pushing forward from the hips, really push forward here, and then bring the head back and come up. You may actually want to come in a little bit closer. It will make balancing easier. So hips forward, roll back and up. Hips forward, roll back and up. Then you want to change sides. So put whichever arm was on top on the bottom this time. And we'll do 3 more. Noticing that you are embracing yourself, right? Feel that embrace. Appreciate the compassion you're giving to yourself. Good. Now that we're starting to get the body a little bit warm, let's move into our first flow. So this is going to be a pretty simple flow. Just follow with me. It will vary a little bit from flow to flow, but very simple. We'll do the first one slow together. So coming to the top of your mat, take a second to ground down. Make sure that all of your toes are on the mat, that your big toes are grounded. Close your eyes, take a breath. Good. Arms overhead. Bring your palms to your heart. Bring your palms up. And then little mini back bend, opening the chest. Good. And come back up. We're going to come down to the ground, palms down. And since this is our first forward fold of the day, let's just hang out here for a moment. Let's actually bring our feet hip distance apart. And let's hold on to our elbows and just hang here. Can bring some movement into it, swinging back and forth a little bit. And just be kind to your body here. Do what feels good. Don't push anything. Good. You can actually bend your knees enough so that your chest is actually sitting on your knees, and that's a very comfortable forward fold. Good. Ground the hands on the mat. Little upward lift. Plant the palms down and step back into our plank. Good. Now we're going to do our first chaturanga of the day. If you prefer, you can drop to knees, whatever feels good to you. So breathe out. Up dog. Breathe in And breathe out into your first downward dog or Adho Mukha Shavasana. Take a couple of breaths here, your first downward dog of the day. Hopefully some of the stretches for our hamstrings that we did in the beginning will serve you right now. Take 2 more breaths. Good. 3-legged dog. Right leg lifts to the sky. Good. Bring that right leg through. Step between your hands. And we're going to raise into high lunge. Take a big breath here. Good. Shoulders down. Moving into warrior 2. Good. Looking over your 3rd finger. Make sure that the left side, the knife edge of your foot is really grounding in. This becomes an important sensation when we think about doing full Vashistasanas and other movements. So really focus on that knife edge grounding down. Good. Lift up. Reverse triangle. And we'll come down into our down dog. Left leg reaches up. 3-legged dog. Good. Coming through, stepping between hands into our high lunge. Shoulders down. Make sure your right hip is coming forward. Your left hip pushes back. You really want those headlights pointing forward. Good. Warrior 2. Left foot, left leg is forward. You should be feeling a nice burn here. Good. Rise up. Reverse triangle. And down into our chaturanga. Into our dog. Good. Take 1 breath here. Good. Raising our right leg into 3-legged dog. Stepping through. Coming into our crescent again. High lunge. Good. Again, into your Virabhadrasana 2 or warrior 2. And this time, coming over into extended side angle. Really feel the chest opening. Feel your heart chakra open. Good. And coming up, straight legs. Reverse triangle. Good. And down. Into downward dog. Same thing left side. 3-legged dog. Left leg rises. And through. In between the hands. High lunge. Virabhadrasana 2, warrior 2. And then come over to your extended side angle. Again, feeling the heart open. Good. Come up, straight legs, reverse triangle. Coming down, plank, chaturanga. Downward dog. 3-legged dog, raise the right leg. Come through. Step between the hands. High lunge. Warrior two. And then we're going to come into half moon. For those of you who this balance is not in your practice, you're going to come into your extended side angle like we did on our last flow. Otherwise, you're going to come into your half moon. You can use your fingertips to plant you and guide you as you come up. You can also use a block here to steady you. And you can also try a balance. You can bring your right hand into your heart. Good. Then bending into your front leg, come into a soft and sweet warrior two. Good. Extend up. Reverse your triangle. And we will come down into our down dog. Good. Left leg comes up, three-legged dog. Steps through, plants between the hands. I'm coming back to stay in the frame. Up into high lunge. Good. Warrior two, Virabhadrasana two. Same thing, either extended side angle or half moon. Come forward, lift up. Good. Again, utilizing a block if that's helpful for you. You can also balance, whichever variation you choose. Bend into the front leg and softly, sweetly land into your warrior two. Straighten, come back, reverse pyramid, reverse triangle, and then come forward, plank into your chaturanga. Downward dog, and we will drop softly into a well-deserved balasana or child's pose. Really use this time to bring down your heart rate. Just notice your heart beating in your chest. Instead of feeling like you don't want to feel this sensation, take this as an opportunity to really embrace the work that your body is doing and feel that. And take a moment to thank your body for the hard work that it's doing for you. Good. We're going to move into puppy pose. So, puppy pose, you want to come up and you want your hip to stay over your knee. So, if you find that you are reaching forward to accomplish a bigger stretch, but you don't have, this line is not becoming a vertical line anymore, then you're not in the right position. So maintaining hip over knee, this nice 90-degree angle that you have here, you're going to reach your fingertips out as far as you can while maintaining that 90-degree angle. And then you want to melt your heart to the floor. Your forehead may touch the ground. You may be up here, that's fine. Wherever your body goes is where it needs to be. So this is basically melting your heart. It's causing a little bit of work, a little bit of in your upper back and your middle back. And as you can probably feel, a good stretch in the shoulders as well. And it's melting your heart to the ground, softening your heart. Good. From here, come to your elbows and come onto your belly. So we're going to do a little flow here. We want our hands under our shoulders, wrists under shoulders. And what we're going to do is a little Balasana Cobra flow. So watch me once. So, and this is the full expression. I'll show you the full expression and then I'll show you modified. So we come up into our Cobra and then come back into Balasana. And then we roll through to Cobra and come back to Balasana. So if Cobra is too much for you, what you can do is just come as much as you can that feels comfortable. And so, what's really telling is how far can you come up without using your hands, right? Because the whole point of Cobra is not using your arms and your shoulders. It's using your back muscles to get you there. So if for modified version, just come here and push back from there, roll through. So see how my face is parallel to the mat as I come through. Parallel, 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 and up. So hopefully you've been doing these the whole time. I've just been chatting over here. Probably come out of my frame. Good. We'll do a couple more. Good. Flop down, softly flop onto your bellies. And we're going to go right into locust pose. So I like to do my locust pose with my arms behind me. Some people like to do in front like a Superman, whichever feels good to you. If you've never done this before, just watch me first. So really, it's just your upper and lower body coming together, arching. So you want to ground your hip bones down, and we will come up. Let it out and relax. We'll do two more. Breathe in. Let all the air out. And we'll come up. Good. One more. And come up. And hold it, hold it, hold it. You got this, you got this, you got this. And relax. Very nice. Whew. Okay. So for our peak pose here, you have three options. So our first option is a nice bridge pose. So come up to your bridge and you can put your arms underneath you and come here and really push up from your glutes and feel your heart open. And then option 2 would be your wheel. So here, whatever variation you want to take, just make sure you come down here and come out safely and softly. Then our last option would be Uttanasana or camel pose. So coming on the knees, hips come forward. You really want to lift from your spine. You don't want to crank your spine back. If you are feeling pain, stop. You really want to feel extension of the spine. You want to feel your ab muscles pulling in a good way, and you want to feel your back muscles stretching out. If you're feeling basically like point tenderness, where one of the vertebrae is taking the brunt, you're going too far and it's not safe. So pushing the hips forward, reaching to the heel on one side, reaching to the heel on the other side, and then opening the chest. Good. So whichever pose you've chosen, I hope you're there, holding it, loving it. And we'll all come back. Good. Coming onto your backs. Bring your knees up into a little ball. And you're going to do a little spine stretch to one direction. Again, taking this as one more opportunity to feel the heart chakra, to open your heart. Good. And other side. And then I want you to come into a ball. Hold yourself. Give yourself that compassion. Thank yourself for the work you've done on the mat today. And then relax into Shavasana. If you want to, you can take a block and actually put it right underneath your shoulder blades to open your heart fully. This time to melt into the mat. Become heavy. Become weighted. Feel yourself ground down. If you've been using the block and you feel that it's no longer serving you, feel free to remove it. Continue to follow the breath as you sink deeper and deeper. Deeper and deeper. Take a couple more breaths, and we'll start to return to the room, slowly moving fingers and toes. Come up gently to a seated position in whichever way feels best for you. Settle into your mat in a nice seated position, and we'll take 3 unifying breaths to lead us out. Thank you so much for joining me on the mat today. Namaste.